Hello boys and girls, my name is Mihael. Welcome back to my poker vlog number 5. Last Monday I played in, what do you know, Sailing Poker Club. That's what I normally do. I played this tournament called Second Chance, Texas No Limit 6 Max. So that's a pretty fun tournament. I was pretty hot in the beginning of the tournament, so I was running really good. So a lot of exciting hands. It's gonna be a good one. So I'll make sure to do the graphics really nice for you, so you can follow me with my comments and so on. So without further ado, let's just go into this tournament and see how I did, and hopefully it'll be fun for you too, so to watch and enjoy it. Have fun. So here we go. This first hand we get the 10-5 off. Blinds are 50, 100. The stack is 6,000 because it's second chance, so you have 6,000 behind if you go bust. Under the gun +1 and button limp. I call. We go 3 ways to the flop because we're missing 2 players. So I close the action, and the flop is 10, 5, 8, rainbow. We hit top 2. We're not worried, so we want to build this pot up. So pot is 400, I bet 150. Under the gun +1 calls, and the button folds. So we continue to the turn, heads up. The turn is 7 of hearts. Now the flop here kind of gets a little bit dangerous, but there's no reason to slow down. I need to see where I am. I believe I'm good, so I continue for 250. The pot is 700. I kind of size it small here, hoping that he's on some kind of draw, or he wants to continue. He just ends up folding, and we take this one down. It's a great result. So this next hand we get out 10 jack of diamonds. Blinds are 50, 100. I believe I click here. I click to 200. The rest fold. Big blind calls, and we go heads up to the flop here. Jack 10 is a nice hand. It flops pretty good. What do we have here? Got 2 diamonds and 1 heart. We're on a draw, so it's a good result here. Both draws here, straight draw, flush draw. Pot is 450. I continue to build the pot with straight and flush draw. He calls. I bet it 500 before on the flop. I hit my flush here, and I bet 1,000 this time, and he folds, so we take it down. This next hand here, we get dealt king, queen suited. Small blind raises to 250. I call, go to the flop, heads up. The flop is 9, 8, 3, 2 spades. Pot is 500. Small blind quickly continues for 500. I call with 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. The turn is exactly what we need, a king. I believe I'm good here now. The pot is 1,500. Small blind isn't slowing down and keeps firing for 500 here. And that bet kind of stinks. He bets 500 again on the river. I call. He's got pocket tens and loses this pot. So go to this next hand. Jack 10 off. Blinds are 50, 100. I'm in a small blind here. Button limps. I call and close the action since big blind hasn't shown up yet. So we go heads up again with this particular player. We keep going at it. I seem to be doing quite well against him. He's really passive, mostly calls and checks. So let's see what this flop gives us. What do you know? A little jack here. It's pretty good. 2 spades though. So we want to bet to deny the flush draw here. And I believe that's exactly what I do. I kind of learned my lesson from the previous vlogs. So in a pot of 300, I bet 250 to deny the flush draw. And button calls, of course, that's a small bet for now. I'm just doing my job. And then the turn is 9 of diamonds. Now there's 2 draws there. I get a little bit worried here, so but I'm still good here, I believe. So I have to continue. I continue for 600 into a pot of 800 to again deny the draw. Now the 2 draws, of course. So and the button calls. And what do we have here on the river? It's a scare card here. Pot is 2000, river is a scare card. I check, and luckily the button checks back. He missed his flush draw, queen 10 of spades, and I take this pot down. So great result on a kind of dangerous flop, board, I mean. So this next hand we get dealt ace 7 of small blind limps. I raise to 700 and small blind calls. He was playing a lot of hands. I was not running well, but I seem to get the best of him, which is kind of nice to try that. Not always be on the losing side. I decided to raise him because he's really passive, you know. Didn't get the flop right away here. I continue for 600. The flop was king jack king, kind of dangerous. Depends what you have, of course. So pot was 1,400. I continue for 600 and he calls. So at this point the 10 of clubs gets there. I kind of slow down here. Got absolutely nothing. Just to see what he does. Turn goes check check. The pot is 2,600. We quickly go to the to the river, and the 2 of clubs completes the flush, and he checks the 3rd time to me. It's a good spot to bluff here, so I fire for 1,500. Small blind quickly folds, and I show him the bluff. At that point, I think he started to tilt a bit, but my purpose was just to get him more involved, you know, so I could get more chips from him later on. It doesn't mean I'm a better player at all. It's just the way I played. This next hand, king jack off, blinds are 100, 200. Cutoff open for 600. I call, others fold. So we go heads up, and the flop is, I never get the flop right away when I'm a dealer. Sometimes I even forget. So the pot is 1,500, cutoff checks. I bet 1,100. He shoves all in. I snap call. We're facing king 10 off on a king high board, and we send the cutoff home here. This was kind of unlucky for him, but well, this is how it is in poker. Sometimes they're ahead, sometimes they're behind. It all depends on the cards. This time they liked me, so we sent the cutoff home. Great result here. So I was absolutely steaming, and I didn't slow down. Look at this nice hand here. King 10 off. It's nothing special. Under the gun limp. Under the gun and I limp. Big blind checks his option. We're 3 ways to the flop here. My stack ballooned to 16,000 there. We started with 6,000, so it's great. The flop is, what do you know, king 10 5. We got top 2. The pot is 1,050. Under the gun continues for 800. I call. Big blind folds. No reason to raise here. Don't want to scare anybody away. So they're building the pot for me. It's pretty good. Go to the turn here, which is 9 of diamonds. Another draw starts to appear. The pot is 2,650. Under the gun checks. I bet 1,600 to deny the draws now, and under the gun calls. I will go to the river here. And what do you know, the river is a perfect magic card. Completes our full house. The boat, it's called. And under the gun checks to me and starts to comment. The pot was 5,850. River is a magic card, but now how do I get the max value here? I limp pre-flop, I call the bet on the flop, I bet it on the turn. It looks like I'm on a busted draw. I decide to go all in to continue my story. Under the gun is my mentor, knows that I know, he knows I could be full of shit here. He wanted to stack me on camera and ruin my vlog. He tanks for a while. He ends up calling with ace 10 off. We get the full payout, and he rebuys after that, so I hope he learned his lesson. I believe I'm gonna hear about that one when I show up for work on Thursday. So great result here. I was really steaming, everything was going my way. This next hand, King Jack of Hearts. I opened for 1100. Cutoff seems kind of itchy and shoves on me for 3600. I call. We're facing Jack 10 off. And the flop, I believe on the flop, she hits a 10, and I get lucky on the river here. Like I said, everything was going my way. It's a perfect life. When that happens in poker, on turn she hit a 10. I hit a king on the river and sent her home. This next hand is a pocket kings. I mean, what a happy dolphin I was looking down to those two cowboys. Under the gun opens for 1100. Cutoff folds. I 3-bet to 3,300. And under the gun calls again. So we go to the flop here. My stack was pretty healthy here. 32,000. Blooming. Keep going one way. Great result here. Although when he called me here, he called my 3-bet here, I got a little bit worried. This particular player is kind of solid. Can't really figure him out. Sometimes he's passive, sometimes he's aggressive. Can't read him at all. So I got a little bit worried. I wanted to see a nice flop here to continue. No aces or something stupid. So let's see what happens here. The flop is perfect. 8, 4, 4. 2 clubs though. So that forces me to bet. Pot is 7,050. Under the gun continues for 5,500. And I want to get all of it in at once. So I shove on him. He decides to fold and asks me to run the turn and the river, which tells me he was on a draw there. Probably ace king or ace queen of clubs. But the bet was too expensive, so I denied him the draw. Great result here. Perfect. Everything was going my way. I have no idea how. I cannot win this stupid tournament. And do one mistake or something and it costs me everything. I have to do something better. I gotta keep learning. This is the way ahead. Doing these vlogs is a perfect teaching material for me. So what do we have here? Ace king, the biggest mistake of this tournament. Let's see how I play this one. I really want to hear your comments, how you would do it. Please leave them down below and I'll be happy to reply. Button opens for 1,400. I 3-bet to 3,500, which is a mistake. Should have just keep it to standard here. 4 times, 5 times, 3-bet. And the button calls. And we go to the flop, heads up. Big blind actually made a mistake of folding without knowing she was in a big blind. So it's a mistake, of course, on her side. So we go heads up to the flop here. And what do we have on the flop? There's a 9 of hearts, 5 of diamonds, and 6 of hearts. The pot is 7,600. I check. Button bets 4,400. I make a huge mistake here deciding to bluff and push all in. He only had like 16, maybe around 19,000 total. When he already committed this much, of course he's gonna call me. Otherwise he wouldn't bet, he would just check. Of course button snap calls and we're in trouble. We face ace 9 off. He hit his 9 there, so we got 3 outs there. And no help on the turn or river, so button doubles through me here. And this is a perfect material, so I just don't show you just the good hands where I did excellent. So you kind of think, oh, he's an excellent player, blah blah, whatever. These are the most valuable hands I show where I do make a huge mistake and hopefully learn from it. So yes, we're late in the tournament here. We got pocket tens. Our stack dwindled to 5,700. Under the gun opens to 2,000. I push. I get called with ace king off. The cards don't like us. And check this flop. I even dealt it myself. Queen, queen 5. The turn is another 5. And the river another 5. So I thought I was good there with my pocket tens, but we chop because the queens beat my tens. So we both have the full house that it's there. So, oh my god. Really unlucky there, but at least I didn't die there, but I don't have to wait long to see that happen. So it doesn't go more than 3 hands later. I'm in the last hand of my tournament here. It was meant to be like this. The cards just didn't like me at all. I pick up 10-8 of hearts. Small blind clicks. I push. And small blind calls. We're facing 5-4 off. We got 65% against 35%, which is clearly not enough. And the flop is 5, king, 4. He hits 2 pair. And we are going home. So this was it, boys and girls. From 31 players, I ended up number 11. I made a huge mistake with ace king, where I decided to bluff against ace 9, where he hit a 9 on the flop. He was never gonna fold, and when he was already committed so much in the pot, it's a huge mistake. I could use those 20,000 at the end when I went card dead, like most of the tournaments. I have to survive that period because normally it goes really well in the beginning, and then it kind of slows down, and then it probably comes again, but I don't live to see that tail. So I have to work on that. Beside one mistake, a huge mistake, where I lost about 20,000 chips, I actually played really good. As I was doing this vlog, I could see I was doing really good. I'm happy with my play. So I have a request for you guys. I would like to see some comments down below. How you would play ace king when you don't hit the flop, and what did you think about my sizing when I 3-betted him? I kind of thought it was on the small side. I should have betted just normal standard 3 to 4 times, maybe even 5 times would be more. I don't know, would you go all in there? I want to hear everything, all your thoughts on that hand, and I'll be happy to reply to you. So no cash this time. Let's hope we'll do better next time. For now, this is it. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. And I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.